Abba Dabby Dude! Hi there, this is Abba Dabby Dude! Welcome back. And doing a bit of a different type of video today. I'm sure most of you are aware of another YouTube channel called I-Pace Owner, also dedicated, funnily enough, to the I-Pace. It's owned and presented by a gentleman called Gary, very nice man, and he does very similar concept to mine, really, just videos about life with the I-Pace. He suggested, and I thought it was a brilliant idea, that we do this sort of crossover video. So we're going to do a Skype call basically and just chat to each other about the whole world of I-Pace, whether it's I-Paces specifically, EVs, chargers, software updates, whatever. It's going to be very free-flowing and unscripted, but I'm sure at least some of those are going to come up. And then we're both going to put it on our channels. So if you've already seen this on Gary's channel, don't waste your time. And you're more than welcome to watch it either here or over there. Or if you're really masochistic, watch them both. But yeah, so we're just going to have a chat and see how it goes. So without any further ado, let's hit the Skype button.
Well, good evening.
Good evening, Gary.
So the night we were having I'm calling this the I-Pace Driver Show. What do you think?
Let's call it that. That's a damn fine name.
Because I thought I-Pace Owner was too much for my channel, and it's obviously your channel as well. So you're Abby Dabby Dude on YouTube, and gosh darn it, on the I-Pace forums.
Indeed, yes.
So I just go by I-Pace Owner and Gary.
Yeah. I started, well, the Abu Dhabi Dude thing came because I used to live in Abu Dhabi. I spent 10 years over there. And I was Abu Dhabi Dude for all that time. And I just kind of stuck with it, really. I liked the name. So stuck with it. I'm kind of Scottish Dude now, but it doesn't have the same ring.
Scottish Dude. Well, you're easy volt charger dude, aren't you?
Well, yeah, just about. Oh dear.
So how long have you had your I-Pace?
I got mine, let's see, well, it's begun 10th of January, I think. So January anyway. So
yeah.
11 months.
So just slightly more than I had. I got mine middle February.
Yeah, I remember us being fairly close together. I couldn't honestly remember who was first.
Yeah, I think mine I waited a little bit longer to get because it tied in with the other company car going back. So mine's a company car.
Yeah.
Which is going to be brilliant next year with the 0%.
Yeah, it's all right for some, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, hopefully, anyway. I mean, we obviously don't know effects of elections could cause all sorts of things, but it's a bit uncertain. Yeah,
let's not go into that one.
Yeah, definitely. Let's not go into that. But I think this whole thing of 0% is going to mean that the I-Pace is going to become a really common company car. Which probably means in a few years' time there's going to be a lot of good value second-hand I-Paces.
I would imagine. So, yeah, I mean, there's three sort of near to me already. There's one just round the corner, but it's probably about half a mile away. And then there's another one that I see around quite a lot as well. So from when I got my car, when you never saw any of them, for a fairly small town in the west coast of Scotland, three of them's a pretty impressive showing.
Well, we had rather a lot at the meetup we got together at the Rutland the other week. So I think
of course, yeah, I missed out on that.
Well, it's a bit of a long way for you to come, but I think we actually ended up. I went back over the video and photographs I took, and we actually ended up with 28 I-Paces over the day. I think the peak number we actually had one at a time was 24, but people shuffling in and out.
That's not bad going, actually. Yeah,
and that plus a couple of new MGs which just come in.
Yeah, I saw that they were there.
Yeah, so absolutely the first two in the country, which is rather good. James and Kate YouTube channel there, which is rather good.
Was theirs one of the two?
Yeah. So it's actually supposedly Kate's car, but James seems to drive it a lot.
Yeah, I kind of had a feeling that might end up being the case somehow.
But James is also on one of the I've forgotten which motorbike it was, but he's just done a video on his channel about.
I saw that. Yeah.
I'll put a link down that on my channels.
Yeah. I'm a bit of an ex-biker. I haven't got a bike at the moment, but I keep keeping an eye on what the developments in the e-bike world.
That one just seemed brutal acceleration. It was almost uncontrollable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem to thoroughly enjoy that. But that was really good. And to have everybody coming up, we just had so many people there and so much chat. And it's actually one of the reasons I wanted to get this going, because I thought your slightly different view, because a lot of people were below, I guess, in terms of where they come from. Well, there was a few higher up, but not many people from Scotland or the north of England.
Yeah.
And I thought it's a slightly different perspective. But I thought what we do first, though, was kick off with a bit of news.
Okay, let's have the news.
Let's have the news, shall we? So, couple of things. Well, let's first do rumours.
Yeah. Oh, we can do those. They're the I-Pace forums. Rumours are.
So I've got some sources who are feeding me stuff at the moment. I'm not sure how accurate it is or not. But the first thing is the range update. We've been promised range and charging update. And I'm told that's slightly on hold on the charging side at the moment. And that may be related to my breakdown.
Oh, really? All right. So this is all your fault.
It could be all my fault. I don't think it's all my fault, but they've had quite a few problems with people charging. So I think that's been part of the issue. Okay. I'm hearing it's still on schedule for the end of November, though.
Your audio is just fading a bit. Is there any way?
Yeah, sure. Let me bring my microphone in a bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit closer.
Is that better?
Yeah, that seems better. Yeah.
That's good. I've got the microphone off to one side so I don't get the audio interfering. Yes. So I've been told that end of November is still very likely for that.
Okay.
It will be a take your car into the dealer. Yeah.
Oh no, you've gone again horrendously badly.
Hang on. Let me move this microphone this side and see if it's any better. That's very close to me now. Is that better?
That's it. Snuggle up to it.
I can hear myself.
Oh, well, that's all that matters, let's be honest.
Anyway, is that better?
Yeah, actually is, yeah.
Okay, so I was saying that I'm hearing that the end of November is still very likely. We should hopefully see it around about the 18th. So probably by the time this video goes up, people will be getting calls in to say going to the dealer, but not going to hold them to that. These things are always going to be down to testing. They are testing at the moment.
Yeah.
Other rumor I'm hearing they're testing is SOTA, or software over the air.
Yes, for telematics and battery control.
Yes. I'm pretty convinced that's actually in testing.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm hearing as well. So
yeah. So, and I think that will be out very, very shortly.
Yeah.
About time too. We need to get the telematics up to date. I'm still sure there's a load of people running around 14.2 out there. You probably, yeah.
Yep, mine is still 14.2.
And that was supposed to be fixed on the H228. So
I know, yeah, which it never got touched. I think, in all honesty, from what I can see, the only thing that got updated at my 228 was the charger control module.
Yeah.
Which is not a SOTA item anyway, never going to be a SOTA item. Yeah. But as far as I could tell, that was the only thing that was updated, and it did absolutely nothing.
Well, you could charge it Ecotricity though. So.
Well, yeah, admittedly, I never tried Ecotricity before that, so I don't know if that was always the case or not. But let's put that down to 228.
Well, yeah, I can't charge it Ecotricity, and I've got that update. So,
right. So yours is one of the many that doesn't charge.
Yeah, there's one Ecotricity I can actually manage to charge at, which is the one nearby. But all the rest of them, I've never had.
It's strange. I've no idea why my car is. I mean, I shouldn't say this because I know what's going to happen now the next time I plug in, but mine never had a single issue other than like once I had to restart the charger.
Yeah.
But that was it. Every other time it's just plug in and charge. I've never had an issue. And every time I've been getting about 42 kilowatts out of it.
Now, one thing I have noticed is that people who can't charge at the Ecotricity also can't charge at the older FSX chargers in Milton Keynes, the old Polar ones.
Oh, okay.
So there seems to be some crossover. I was chatting to someone the other day who was saying that he thought that there may have actually been a change in the charger equipment hardware on the car at some point during production.
Yeah, I've heard that more as a guess than as a anything that's been provided through information from Jaguar. I've heard a few people speculating on that, but to the best of my knowledge, the only thing I can think of is that maybe whoever supplies the charging hardware, if it's not in-house produced, may have somehow changed the specification of it, during the course of the contract. But as far as I'm aware, there's been no change in the design spec of the car or the charging hardware.
Yeah, and certainly for my internal contacts are saying that they don't know anything about that. So it does seem unlikely that that's the case, but it also seems really weird that you can charge and I can't. And we know it's all about tolerances. I mean, maybe it's manufacturing tolerances as well in the devices. Maybe they're so close to being on the edge of these voltage tolerances that just a slight difference in conductivity, perhaps.
Anything is possible. I mean, it could even be that a 1 degree temperature difference is. Yeah,
it could be that, or how hot your car is when you arrive. Maybe it's that dynamic mode you've been using all the
way. That'll be it. Yeah,
that'll be it. But I mean, the other thing is, I found that I can't charge at some of the older Engini chargers as well now, because I could before.
Oh, right.
And that's a recent thing. That actually may have been since the recent update. So there's some really weird. And my actual fault I had was an isolation fault. It detected the cable as not being isolated. It's actually not the case. The cable was isolated.
Yeah.
It's just not the spec that Jaguar were looking for.
Yeah. And was that the time that your car went kaput?
Kaput, yeah, basically. And that was actually coincidental. I mean, what happened was basically, I believe what happened is the 12-volt battery had dropped in voltage, the point where the car decided that was a fault and actually locked the car down. Now, that probably would have recovered. Indeed, by the time they came with the recovery lorry, I could actually drive it on. It would be driven onto the recovery truck. So it had actually freed itself up at that point. I suspect if it'd been any day other than a Sunday, I would never have had my car recovered. I think we'd have had one of the rangers come out and do the reset, and it'd have been on its way. But the logs do show it was an isolation fault on both ends, for Engini's end and my Jaguar's end. That it showed as an isolation fault. And Jaguar appear to be the only people who are actually following the full spec for the combined charger. So, and you can see why Jaguar would do that. I mean,
absolutely.
If there's a problem with the cable, they don't want to give people electric shocks, and then and you can see why legal may not want them to blow that back a bit like everybody else is.
I mean, I do. I completely get it. It's excruciating and frustrating when it happens, though. Yeah. But I do understand why they've gone down the path they've gone down. It's just there needs to be a middle ground, though. I think. I mean,
I think so, and I think that's probably where they're going to end up. I think because the charger companies aren't going to change the chargers. It's not. Yeah. They think they're following the CCS spec. I mean, I had this conversation years ago. One of the charger manufacturers basically saying the way the CCS spec was written, it's just so vague in certain cases. Read it in so many.
I know. I've heard that myself a few times. It's not. They've tried to catch everything, and in doing so, they've kind of not tied it down to a really good standard.
Yeah. And it was also designed for the BMW i3 as well. That's what okay. Even though even that didn't actually really work. I mean, I know someone who part of the BMW i3 club. So who had a long time talking to Ecotricity about how that charger was not working on a CCS when they installed it. So, and that had a lot of work to get a few of those being able to charge. So that's been a challenge all around. But it does. I mean, I do wonder sometimes though. These chargers are very much exposed to the elements.
Yeah, I mean, I know. I theorized this a while ago. You probably remember all the Charge Place Scotland issues I've had in the past. And at one point, it seemed to me that it was noticeably worse when the ground was wet.
Yeah. I mean, I've theorized that as well, because I've certainly seen a lot of polar chargers, the modern polar chargers, which usually work, where the screen locks up if it's been raining.
Okay.
The touchscreen completely locks up and it has to be reset. And it does seem related to sort of the day after a heavy rainfall. I can almost guarantee that they're going to be locked up. And also on my German trip, my super long trip to Berlin.
Yeah, that was an impressive one, by the way.
Well, on the way back, the Ionity charger wasn't working. She had been working on the way out at Wetteren, and that had been raining as well, very heavily on it. And it was the same symptom as the Polar ones, where the screen was locked up and it wasn't responding. I just wondered, they could just spend a little bit more money and put a hood over the top.
I know, exactly.
I mean, maybe it'd be justified in the cost of repairs they have to. They must be sending out engineers left, right, and centre to these
Oh,
things.
I know, yeah. And I mean, let's be honest, you build a charging network in Scotland, rain protection is something you're going to have to consider.
Yeah, you wouldn't build a garage without out a canopy over the pumps, would you?
I know.
So I think there is definitely a reason for having chargers with canopies. Really.
Oh, your audio is just suddenly gone again, mate. I don't know.
Try that. Is that better? I think it's the connection.
All right, it might be actually because that seemed to fix it. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's stick with that.
Let's stick with it. Don't move.
Don't move. I'll try not to wiggle too much. Yeah. So I think obviously canopies are a really good idea.
Yeah.
And I know the engineer guys have been looking at putting canopies over theirs, but obviously it's an extra cost for them because the charging manufacturers don't provide them.
Yeah.
So you think that'd be something they would, but never mind. Anyway, talking about chargers, another bit of news. I don't know if you've seen the expansion of the Eon network.
I haven't, no.
So Eon have put their first 2 chargers in Birmingham a couple of weeks ago, about 3 or 4, actually 45 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Jar 175 kilowatt chargers, so Ionity equivalent.
Nice.
Good. Very pricey. They're 43 kilowatt hour. But for a quick splash and dash, if you're desperate, it's probably okay.
I mean, to be honest, sorry, not wishing to interrupt, but I think we're kind of getting to a point where it looks like that's going to be the price for rapid charging now. I mean, they're all there or thereabouts, apart from ChargePlay Scotland, which is either free or really cheap.
Yeah.
All the other networks really seem to be settling on that 35, 40, 45p range.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully at some point that the price pressures will come down on the competition, but the investment to actually get these chargers out there is very expensive.
Very high.
Yeah, there's not enough of us driving around to make it worth their while.
Yeah.
But I think that some of the ones, I mean, what I'm hoping is that some of these people are going to be doing let me just kill that call.
Yeah.
Alexa, hang up. That's not working. Alexa, hang up. We'll leave that one in as well.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, 43 kilowatt foot around that mark. It's what Fastnet charge in Europe. I mean, the only one which isn't at the moment is Ionity.
Yeah, we know that's coming, and I suspect that when it comes, it's going to be in that ballpark.
Yeah, I think it's going to change. I've said this a few times in the future forum, but the Virtu card is just brilliant for Ionity at the moment.
Yeah,
you're looking at about £6.31 a charge, which is crazy.
Yeah,
because that's because they have a crazy system. They translate the UK price into euros and then into Swiss francs and then back into GBP.
Of course they do.
And then somewhere along the line, it goes from being £7 a charge, £8 a charge to being £6 a charge.
Well, don't knock it.
So yeah, all good stuff. That's really good. So yeah, I think that's basically all the news I've got at the moment in terms of what's going on online. But I think we're definitely going to see some changes over the next few weeks. Someone said someone I know on the inside said it's going to be like having a new car.
Yeah,
This changes.
I mean, I've heard a similar story from my ChargePlay Scotland connection. Is telling me that he didn't know the numbers of the updates, and I'm not surprised because they've gone for a very weird numbering system on this new one.
Yeah.
But he advised me that this new one, he said, completely changes the charger compatibility, and their experience on the tests they've done are the new firmware. Now, I'm only assuming that he's talking about whether it's 101, 102, 103 updates, because, like I say, he didn't have numbers for me. But I can't think of anything else he could be talking about. And he's telling me that once that's done, and I'll personally experience, I believe it when I see it, but he's telling me that once that's done, the whole thing is going to be, the compatibility issue just goes away.
Yes, yeah, which would be amazing if that's the case. I mean, I'm not quite sure how that can be the case because some of the stuff is actually down to voltage tolerances on the.
I know.
Unless they're going to ramp up slowly. And I've said this before. That's a fix I actually really don't want.
I know, yeah.
I mean, we're all going to charge slower on chargers with can cope.
Yeah, it's going to be like connecting on an old 1200 baud modem, where it first connects at about 50 baud and then gradually works its way up.
Yeah, and I think that's going to definitely be the danger of that if they do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, I know there are some vehicles out there. I think actually MG does this. They actually ramp up very slowly on the charge.
Wiggle your lead.
How we can with lead? Is that better?
Yep.
I don't know what that's. Must have a loose connection actually in the laptop because this is a brand new microphone.
It must be then. It must be in the laptop.
Anyway, yeah. So the MG I think has got that ability to ramp up slowly.
Okay.
That's quite good. So.
Oh, you've just gone completely now.
Hang on. Try wiggling the cable again.
It never hurts.
Is that better?
You didn't by any chance design the e-volt chargers, did you?
Maybe the people who designed this microphone did.
Yeah, I think that's probably the case because what you're doing is pretty much my Charge Play Scotland routine now.
Yeah, so you've got a really good routine for that, which seems to work for you.
Well, Ecotricity's fine. Charge Play Scotland, that's another matter entirely.
Yeah. So, are you seeing? I know they've started to replace some of the chargers up there. Is that rollout actually happening, or is it?
It is. They're not replacing them.
All right.
It's just that the network's still expanding, and the ones that they're putting in now are the newer eVolts, which they call Raptions. The ones which don't work are the eVolt model. It's not that they never work, but the ones that are extremely unreliable with the I-Pace are the ones they call compacts, which are the old style ones with the old start and stop button. Where the new ones are these Raptions that are all touch screen, just a card reader and a touch screen.
They're very like the Polar ones, I believe. If I remember rightly.
They're actually what they are is if you've used any of the newer Ingenie ones.
Oh, they're the same as those. Yeah.
Exact, that model.
Yeah. The ones I can't charge with.
You kidding?
Yeah.
Oh, this is just all gone mental now.
But I used to be able to. So it's weird.
I didn't realise it was that model.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, they're the new ones that Charge Play Scotland are installing. So as the network expands, those are the ones that are going in. So it now just means that there's still huge areas where you can only find the old ones.
Yeah.
But gradually that's reducing. It's always going to be the case, unless this update does what they say, it's always going to be the case that you'll have to look for the right kind of charger, if you know what I mean. But it's getting better and easier to find them. Like, I don't know if you remember my very first road trip video, the one where I didn't make it.
Yes, indeed.
And then retried it again a few days later, or a week later, and did make it using my old ABC strategy. Well, that trip now, right at the far end of it, at the bottom end of that peninsula, they've installed one of the new chargers. So that trip now would be easy. Yeah. But it's only easy if you know what you're looking for, though. That's the frustrating thing, is that I would still have come a cropper if it was my first road trip, because all I would have done is exactly what I did. Try to go as far as I could and then plug in at 20%.
And then you wouldn't have to, which I think is, I mean, I've always taken the view that never getting below 50% when I'm charging, because that's long enough driving.
Yeah.
I mean, 100, just around about the 100-mile mark, I want to break at that point. And that way it's also a shorter charge as well. Especially on a 150 kilowatt charger, even if we're not getting 150 kilowatts, which is obviously, you did a brilliant graph up on the board that I saw. That must have been quite an interesting operation to get that information.
I think let's just call it a labour of love.
So you actually took pictures every minute or so of the chargers?
Well, no, what I did was I videoed the screen.
Oh, videoed it.
Whole charging session.
Yeah.
And then replayed it, pausing it at the 1 minute, every minute stage, and making a note of how much power it had added.
Which was interesting to see. I mean, you actually peaked over 100 kilowatts, which I've seen.
Yeah, I peaked at I think it was 100 can't remember if it was 104 or 102 now off the top of my head. It was,
but that doesn't last very long at all.
no, it was 3 minutes. We got 3 minutes of that.
And this was on the Ionity Milton Keynes, or no?
Gretna Green one.
Gretna one, which are the same as Milton Keynes. So they're the ABB.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same charger. Yeah.
The ABB chargers. And I've certainly found that on my European trip as well, that they tended to start quite quickly, very high, and then drop very quickly, and then go up a bit. Is odd. But the other type of V-fill ion chargers, which have actually show you the charge rate, they tend to seem to stick around the 90 mark.
Oh, right.
Start for quite a bit of time. In fact, I even had one of those stick at 100 for good 5 minutes.
Well, that's
when I was charging, but then it dropped off very, very rapidly.
Yeah. I was going to say that's impressive, but it kind of isn't as well.
Yeah.
It should be doing it for longer than 5 minutes, but suddenly 5 minutes feels like the dream.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things, though, because 100 kilowatt charging, if your peak charging is 100 kilowatts, you're never going to get that for very long.
Yeah.
Even their 40 minutes to 80, whatever it is, I can't remember what the actual claim is, but even if you actually work out with that wouldn't actually be at 100 kilowatts.
No, exactly. That would only be if it could sustain 100 kilowatts from 0 to 80.
Yeah.
Which no charger is ever going to do. So to get that, you'd have to be peaking at 120, 130, something like that.
And I think we may find we go to 120 as a peak charge at some point.
Yeah.
Once they're happy with the battery technology, although
exactly.
I know there's some concerns around that. There's been, I get the impression there's been some internal arguments about whether they actually could push it out to 120 or not.
Yeah.
Talking about internal stuff and seeing stuff, one of my viewers actually sent me a link to something he opened. I'm not going to show it because it's got.
Oh, can you wiggle your wire?
I'll wiggle my wire. Is that any better? Is that better?
Yep, there we go.
Okay. So he sent me this link to a video which he's taken from his dash cam of a prototype I-Pace, slightly different shape and slightly disguised, going past him at a speed rate of knots somewhere near Coventry, and it absolutely left him for dead. He said he was accelerating as hard as possible could in dynamic.
Ooh.
So I'm guessing that might be the SVR.
That was my next guess. It's got to be.
So that's got to be coming shortly, I guess.
Yeah.
They've been saying that's likely to happen. I can imagine that being 21 model year potentially.
Oh, you're going again, mate.
I can imagine that being 2021 model year.
Where are we now? Yeah, that's probably about right. I can't see it coming any earlier than sort of September, October next year.
Yeah. And they've got the XJ to launch as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Which I'm hearing good things about as well. So that's going to be interesting.
I know, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that, actually.
Yeah, I'm a bigger platform than the I-Pace. And
yeah.
What's interesting is obviously they've got this modular platform now, which they can use for all the products. Will they keep the I-Pace unique platform going? I suspect we'll get at least one more model. But
yeah, I mean, the official line from Jaguar is that they're absolutely committed to keeping the I-Pace going, and that the modular platform will sit alongside it. I think the impression I get is that they're seeing the I-Pace as almost their EV F-Type, if that makes sense, in the sense that they know the F-Type is always going to be a niche car, but they have committed to carrying on making it because it's got the Jaguar, you know, it's part of their core, part of their heritage really now. And I think the feeling, the feedback I get is that they're treating the I-Pace almost at that same level of commitment, you know, that they want to keep building it because it is unique.
Yeah, which makes a lot of sense. And that's also what I've heard as well. But it just do sort of kind of wonder whether there's been a lot of investment in the modular platform. They could make a smaller vehicle using it.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it's good to see new developments coming. Anyway.
It is. I mean, I like the fact that the I-Pace is so unique and bespoke, really, and I kind of like that it's not built on a platform, because I kind of feel that we're in danger of heading down the route where a lot of EVs are actually going to be pretty much the same car.
Yeah.
And I kind of like that the I-Pace will always kind of stand out aside from that, because it's the only car that's ever going to be built on exactly that platform.
And I actually quite like it, like the fact it's an EV only platform as well.
Yeah,
I think that has some advantages, and the skateboard design is definitely the right way to go as far as I'm concerned.
absolutely, yeah.
So, do you think there's much they can do to tweak the efficiency of the motors? I mean, that's something which I know they've talked about this update being able to tweak it a little bit and gain a certain amount of mileage, which would be useful in the winter.
Yeah.
And also the eco mode actually being meaningful.
Actually doing something more than about an extra 3 miles.
Yeah, it could be significantly more from what I'm hearing. But I mean, there's always been a lot of talk on the forums about coasting and whether there's any way of actually making it free wheel, which is difficult, I guess, with the magnet design of the motors.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a lot we can actually expect on that line beyond what they've already said.
In all honesty, I think the only thing that I think is kind of holding back its efficiency, I mean, you have to bear in mind the I-Pace is a big, heavy car.
Indeed,
It is an SUV,
Yeah.
So I always get a little bit exasperated when I see people constantly comparing it with things like the E-Niro, the Model 3, smaller, lighter cars, which are always going to be more efficient. Now, the Model 3 is more efficient not only because of that. The Model 3 is a spectacular engineering feat in terms of the efficiency it achieves. But I just feel that there's a limit to how efficient you can make a car. Now, when you look at, I don't know if you saw the videos that Bjorn did on comparing the I-Pace with, I think, was it the Model S and the Model X, or the...
Yeah, and the Audi, was it as well?
Was it the e-tron? That's it. It was the e-tron and the Model X, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think he had a Model S in there as well or something. But anyway, it was more efficient than the Model X up to motorway speeds.
Yeah.
And it's all, I think, the inefficiency comes in above 70 miles an hour. And I think it's aero.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's aero as well.
And it's the price we pay for, I hate to leap into bed with all the Teslarati out there, but it's the price we pay for that grille.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the look of the car. I think the grille adds to the look of the car. But it gives it a bigger frontal area than something like a Model X, which at high speeds, your frontal area.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's I did see someone who'd actually tried to cover the grill up.
I saw that.
Yeah, but that's going to have adverse effects anyway, because that the airflow of the grill is actually really essential for the battery cooling.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've really
There's a lot more going on. A lot of people slagged it off. EV doesn't need a grill, but of course an EV needs a grill. It just doesn't need as big a grill.
Yeah.
Now the I-Pace uses the grill to duct the air, obviously, but they could have done a smoother profile.
They could have done.
Would that have made a difference? Who knows?
Yeah, would have affected the styling. Yeah.
Exactly. And in all honesty, I mean, I've said this on so many of my videos. The car's efficiency really isn't an issue for me. And to be honest, I don't think a car's efficiency, and I think we lose sight of that sometimes, is, being so heavily involved in the whole, the sort of technicalities of it for our videos. Most of the public don't really care about efficiency. They care about how far they can go.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can go far enough in the I-Pace.
Exactly.
Even on winter range, 180 miles or whatever, it's still good enough. And it would definitely be, once we got this little upgrade of efficiency, I think it will definitely be a lot better.
Exactly. And I'll be happy with that. I mean, the winter range is probably a little bit marginal for, for what I would like. I mean, it's good enough, but it's kind of getting close to that point where you start to think, oh, this could make long journeys that little bit longer than they need to be. So I think that's where the extra range come in. I don't think the extra range will make a huge difference. Well, to me personally, it won't make a huge difference in the summer, because the summer range is way more than I really need. But I think in the winter, if they can get that range for winter driving. I think that's where it comes into its own.
Yeah, and I think that what I'm hearing is a lot of the tweaking is about cold weather usage.
Yeah.
So I think that's good, definitely, and certainly the charging side of things is definitely for cold weather usage. So I mean, we know the batteries are peak optimal charging about 30 degrees, aren't they? So yeah, I'll wiggle. Right. Yeah. So we know the batteries peak at their charging best at 30 degrees.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Oh, no, you wiggled the wrong way there.
Oh, I've wiggled the wrong way. Oh. I don't know which way to wiggle now.
Well, just try every way.
This has been really good. I think we'll probably call it a night there and have another episode once we've got the updates and see what we're
exactly. Yeah, no, it's been good to get some feedback from you as to what you're hearing, and to be honest, it all pretty much ties in with what I'm hearing. So unless we're speaking to the same people,
unlikely,
which is always possible, mind you, but it sounds likely that things are headed the way that we both think they are. I'm looking forward to getting that update. I'm sure you're eagerly awaiting it as well. There's 3 updates. One I know is charging speed, and one is the efficiency. Do you know, what's the third one?
I do know what that is, and I've forgotten.
See, I'm the same. I know I've heard it, but I can't.
The other two are the most important bits of it.
Yeah.
If I've got some notes somewhere, I might have actually noted that down.
I think we're so heavily focused on charging speed and efficiency that we've binned the other one.
All I can see on my note is charging speed. We'll find out when they put the release out. We'll find out.
Probably a new sticker somewhere.
Yeah. New sticker.
Yeah.
Well, it might be SOTA actually. It could be changed to the way.
But yeah. Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting those updates. I do think if they're as build, I think it will make a huge difference to road tripping with the I-Pace. I mean, already it's a great road tripper, not a city car as some websites would have you believe.
Yeah. Well, I think I proved that.
I think you definitely proved that. I think you more than proved that. So yeah, I think if we get these updates and if they deliver, and there's no reason to suspect they won't, I think the I-Pace is headed in a good direction, and it also is nice to see that the car's being developed, and it's being passed on to everybody, not just the upcoming variant or the new model for next year or whatever.
Yeah, and that's what we want. That's what we want, and that also pushes back to some of the comments we get from Tesla people about they're constantly getting updates and we're not.
Exactly. Yeah.
We have had quite a few updates already.
I know, yeah. I mean, I've been quite impressed it was patchy at first, but since the rollout's been taken central now and isn't being pushed by the dealers anymore, I think the SOTA system is running pretty well at the moment.
It has its few issues, and we've got one. Both got one at the moment where the update's not showing. I know there's a fix coming for that. But yeah, I think it's vastly improved. I also like the fact they're no longer making it something you can lock down or turn off. It's available for everybody and switched on for everybody, which is the right way to do it.
Absolutely, yeah. But anyway, yeah, I think if we leave it at that, and then we'll come back and do another one of these in hopefully a few weeks.
Yep, and I'll get a better cable for the microphone.
Yes, get a better cable or a better laptop. We still aren't sure which.
Well, yeah, it might be the laptop. Could be. Could definitely be.
But yeah, that's been good. It's been nice to sort of meet you finally.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to do this physically. We have said
absolutely.
We'll try and get together at perhaps at the Fastned charger at some point, because I can get up there and you can get down to it. So we'll see what we can do at some point.
We must try and organise something.
New update when we get it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, brilliant. Thanks a lot for that, Gary. Good luck with the rest of your videos. I'm thoroughly enjoying the channel.
I thoroughly enjoyed yours as well. We'll have to. I'm looking forward to the next road trip.
It's in edit at the moment.
Take care.
And you. Cheers, Gary.
Cheers.
Right. Well, I actually really enjoyed that. That was fascinating. I was a bit worried before we got going that we might run out of things to talk about. But in actual fact, I kind of get the feeling we could have talked for another hour. But yeah, I did enjoy it, and I think hopefully we're going to be able to make a sort of irregular series of that, sort of guesting on each other's channels, so to speak. Um, I'll quite happily be up for that. And we've kind of already set up a follow-up, uh, not quite formally, but once we've both had these software updates done to our car, sort of maybe a week or two after that, once we've had a chance to try them out, we'll do another one and see what we both think of them, what our experiences are with the new software updates. Because this one, if it happens, when it happens, don't be pessimistic. It's going to be quite a significant one for the I-Pace. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, then please do click on the thumbs up. It's always hugely appreciated. And if you're enjoying the videos generally, then do please click on subscribe. And if you click on subscribe, don't forget to click on the little bell. And that way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video and you won't miss anything. If you do want to subscribe, you can do that right now by clicking on my ugly little face over here. And don't forget to check out some of my other videos like this one up here. Till next time, this is Abu Dhabi Dude saying so long, take care, see you soon. Bye. Abu Dhabi Dude.